Hi there, just putting the gun shield armour together, which is lots of wires coming out of everywhere. Let's try to fit it first like I normally do. Took a bit of fiddling to work out where that goes, but it goes like that. Oops, daisy, 100, and then fits in like that, as you can see, and then another piece goes the other side which hasn't got the gun barrel in. Oops, daisy. And they had to put the fibre optic in, so I just got to screw that, sort that out and glue that. I've glued I'll put a few more bits on, as you can see, which still haven't been painted, but I noticed when I put the motor on I can't twirl the top, so I can't get the paint in, so and wires and air suddenly getting everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on like that so I can still get in to paint these and the front sections, but I'm just going to try and put this gun barrel on and everything else, because that'll need a touch up and a paint as well. So see if I can do a bit more of the gun and the barrel and a few other bits and pieces, stick that in there, try if I can not to put the motor on so I can spin this around, get my spray gun out, airbrush out, and spray this off. Then I can glue the plastic glass type thing in there and put it in there, touch these up with the old paint as well, sorry, let it dry a bit, and then that's a little bit more painted on, and hopefully I can get this in and get this painted up as well. So we'll see how we go in a few minutes. Cheers. Well, it's a bit of a fiddle, but as you can see, side panels are on both sides. When I painted the barrel, you can see the paint's come off there when I pushed it in, but the wires all seem to be in, clipped in, this nogginy thing here, and it just sticks out, and I've just got to put the glass end on, sorry, the plastic end on. That's got to be super glued in, and then just over painted with a bit of green, that way you can see the flash of the barrel. Excuse my arm. So that is there. I've just got to now bloody wires, make sure that's dry. All the screws are in, the little brass little nervy thing there, that's basically it, but everything as in, fairly easy, just a little bit fiddly, you know, but you expect that in a model, don't you? Well, I do. So everything else is still okay, still wait to dry off a little bit. So that was what I've just been doing, number 54, and the models. So just basically I've got to glue this cap on here, so I'll go and dig that out and I'll just put a bit of glue on and do that in, so then I can paint over as well. Cheers. Right, I've got that's the plastic end in. That's the barrel is basically in, this piece isn't, by the way, it's just resting there, just testing it, and it's just a little bit wet. So that is the barrel bolted, quite simple. I don't know what it is, the glue's a bit, yeah, whatever. The rubber washers go in there, by the way, it says on there, and if you're looking for washers, they're actually rubber washers on 55 that go in with the bearings. I've got a couple of bearings anyway, so I'll drop those in. So moving about, sorry. So there you go. So rubber washers, bearings, then the caps that go in, which, as you can see, daisy. I still haven't put this motor in here, of course, because then you can't spin this and it's a bit awkward to move about. So all that one's doing now is painting on the end and a bit of other painting to do. I'm waiting for this to dry. I want to just put it together. That could be popped in and screwed down like it was in just a few minutes ago when I showed you. Sorry about skipping the camera about. Lots of wires and stuff now, and it's just now putting the DM unit in, the battery and various other bits and pieces, but that's for another day, I think, to be honest, because it's 20th of December I shan't be doing a lot more today or the next few days or for the next week because I'm shotting off to the forest, so for Christmas. There you go. So it's coming on. It's starting to get a bit of a head scratch, of course, you know. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's getting a bit closer and a bit closer. It's been a good build. It's been a good learning curve. So all I've got to do is find out what I'm going to do next. I'm not too sure whether it's another tank or something else. It'll probably be another tank anyway. Catch you all again soon. Have a nice Christmas. Cheers. Right, morning all. I'm not too sure what you can see of this. These are the tracks for my tank, which is pushed to the side there, and they're very nice and shiny. And what I thought of doing was actually, I have a couple of rattle cans I purchased, which is the NATO Black, and I won't be using these on the tank. So rather than not waste them, I always put them in a saucepan of hot water, not boiling, hot water, give them a few rattles, as you can see, and what I'll do is I'll spray off with a NATO Black as a general undercoat. That's what people tend to be spraying. So it's just a question of using these paints up basically, because I use my air gun, as you can see, and you get all the pooey smells out of the way. So this can should do what I want, hopefully. So it does pollute the air a little bit, so I have to be careful of that. Do the insides. I'll let this dry a little bit so I can turn them round, but I'm going to get a couple of rattles. There's not a lot in these cans, as you can probably imagine. But I don't know whether you can see it or not, but let's get the ends done. I've got the other can in there, which is the brown, and I'll do my ghosting of brown. As you can see, just try and get what I can done. Right, I'm going to let that go for a little bit. Come back in a few minutes to that and see how we go from there. Right, I'm back again. I'm going to give another little blast over and see how we go from there. Mainly the edges, because the edges were the ones that you'll see. I hate these spray paints, but don't matter. It gets rid of them. Well, I don't get rid of them. As you say, it is just an undercoat. Oh, pardon me. Let's put this. Just do the tops again, because the pins are wanting a bit more to cover. I know you can't see very well on the camera, but they're quite large tracks on the 1/16, so I am nearly finished on that one again. Put that in the water. Oh, it's floating a bit. So hopefully you can see those. I'll show you the close-up shortly. I'll leave them to dry a little bit more, and what I'm going to do then is just ghost off with a bit of brown, NATO brown. I'll recheck those in a moment anyway. Back again in a second. Right, just blowing the last of the can out. There's no need for it otherwise. So I'll see if I can get it's just there's not much in these cans anyway, and as you can see, it's just a question of just blowing them all out, and just that'll give you a good base coat hopefully. Yep, that's done. So I should dump that. I should let that dry for another half an hour to an hour. I should go and retop my water up and warm that up and get the brown and give it a little go over and brown, then I'll do you the close-up. Cheers folks. Right, hopefully you can see that they've all got a nice fairly even matte black, which is the NATO black, pretty much all the way through. So there's a few bits and pieces which you can see is missing, but what I'll do now is I'm going to it's where they're sticking that you can see a bit of the pins, but as I says, that's not a problem, because when I start finishing off the other bits and pieces, I'm just warming the brown up, and I'm just going to give these a quick blow over brown. What I'm going to do is try very hard with these tracks, right, but it's a rattle again, so a little bit of a rattle and just a brown, and this is just going to be a blow over. I don't want to cover them brown. All I want to do is just give it a little bit of a coat. So I'm going to try and just get a little quick blow over with this. So something like that, a little bit, as you can see that. Very poor light today. It's very bad weather. So what I'll try and do now is just go around, give it like it's empty these rubber pads, so all you're trying to do is just give it a little bit of a blow, a little bit on the top. I'll do the inside in a second. Oops. So I'm going to pop that back here a minute, get the next one, give it a bit of a shake. So put that into warm a little bit. Now, as I says, it's just a little hint of brown. Might be a bit thicker in places, but just to give it a rusty thing. So what I'll be doing then is picking out the rubbers and cleaning those all off, so they are like, you know, I'll be sanding flat to give them a black sheen, because they're supposed to be the rubbers, and then filling in with other bits and pieces. But this is just the so-called rough coat. So now I'm going to try and do a bit on the inside. There's never a lot in these cans, so on the inside it's not too bad. You can do a little bit, not thick of it. A little wiggly, but that's a man. So I'm going to bring this one across. Once again, do a little bit of brown on the inside. That might have a little bit of nice coat. Once again, we're talking of painting these, and then a little bit thicker on the inside, so a little bit on the edges, don't forget that. Then, even though they've just been done, you can see a little bit on the insides. Hopefully the light is very, I'm sorry about the weather, it is just in sunny Fulford at the moment. So there you go, that is the NATO brown, which will do at the moment to give that sort of light, slightly rusty feel. Nothing over the top, but one can only seems to do about 2 big tracks like these. But I'll do a bit this side. And then hopefully leave that for the moment. Hopefully that's not too long and too painful, but I think you can see that they are just a different shade. Anyway, cheers folks. Right, welcome to another part. At the moment I'm just doing the turrets. I've just, as you can see, what I've done a bit of painting, doing the turrets. These things have a little rubber underneath and they're screwed from underneath. You can't see it, but you screw that thing down. That's the turret. At the moment I've got super glue stuck in my screw hole. My screw won't go in. There's my name, by the way. Right, and I've got to put a little nut and washer underneath there. These are quite easy to just fit in gently, but that will pull out. It's only held in by a little rubber band, which is one of these. There's a set of 4, just one of those broke off and holds that in so it doesn't drop out. Always refer back to your notes, as it says, the bits and pieces mint list. Got a few things done, as you can see, a few bits I've added on. I've also broke my aerial off again. I know I shouldn't have put that on. I've just broke that off. It's just probably flew off somewhere. I've glued it on once before, so that's a slightly annoying thing. Yeah, if I find it, I'll put it back on. That's me with my big ham fists. So, there it is on the floor, right down between my legs. There it is. So I'm going to put that in my little box and put that on after. Oops. Anyway, I've got to do the smoke launchers. I've got to put them together, put this one here together, try and get that screwed in, assemble the other hatch, the driver's hatch I think it is, which I've got the bits for, and then I might throw a bit of paint on this just to tack it around a bit, and that's about it. Everything else is fairly easy going on this, so I'll catch you up in a bit. Cheers. Right, I found the smoke dischargers. Bit of a fiddle these are. I've made a few, as you can see. Put all the pieces together, and the staples, as you can see, they are a fiddle to do. I don't know whether I can do them without holding the camera, but I'll come back to you in a second. Evidently, I hook it on the thing first, and what I do is I trim the length off a little bit, and it's hard to do that. I can use the little snips, and then I bend them over. I tried it with my hands once, and to be honest, they got a bit sharpy and just stabbed me. So if you do it, it's just got to be careful. So I bend that fairly close, then open the other one out. I don't cut them beforehand because I found that they don't go in very well, so wrong way. So suppose I get the right one. I haven't trimmed these off yet. These go into the little black thing there. Now I found that to get that to go in there, I can usually pinch with my fingers. If not, I just gently make sure my chain's come off. Now, looks like I only got the end of the chain. So go back, pick the chain up again. Stab it, put it on. Oh, there's the chain back on again, sorry. It must have been the link of cut, and it just meant I got on the cut link. Well, you can see that then. Just gently pinch that. Okay. Then I've painted the wheels, but I've got to paint them again. Put that in there. Then it's a question of just don't push with your thumb like that, because you'll stab it in your thumb. If you can, just gently hold that, then push down on the deck, and that's pretty much good enough. Make sure you got your chain in. Push down on the deck. Then bend that one back a bit carefully. I've already stabbed myself twice. Feed it into that there, into the end. Oops, it's got to go back a bit more. Into that one. Tip it up, that's in there. Now I'll just trim a bit off again, and with my pliers bend round, make sure that goes into the bend, and just close it with that. Bend that back, bit of glue. I'll file all these level, they lock onto there, and there's the thingy. Bit of glue on the bottom, and there's that piece, and that is smoke grenade launcher. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see that. It's a bit long, but that's how they were done, and then they're going to be painted. Cheers.